the biggest thing for me has been like, I need to know that I'm like loved, or else like I'm not gonna be able to believe that I'm loved by anybody, because like that's kind of what anxiety does to me. It just like makes me think that like everybody's against me. But when like on the outside, people are like, Austin, that's so stupid. Like you have so many, like you live with, yeah, I think he's been somebody who does that all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
I said that.
I live with like 15 guys who like really love me, but it's like, if I don't hear it and if I don't believe it myself, then like, I'm always gonna convince myself that like, I'm like unworthy of love. And so like this season of like fighting anxiety has been like, in those moments when I see, like, notice that spiral going on, taking that action step and surrounding myself with people who remind me of truth, the truth that I am loved, and that I, like, for me, that like, my identity is not in what people think of me, and it's also like, I'm believing lies.
That feeling of like loneliness is like, it's attached to like a sense of fear in me that like, if I don't like put myself out there, then I won't really have anybody like later on or anything like that. I'd rather just spend my time just in my room, or maybe with just like a couple of my close, like 1 or 2 or 3 friends, and then just something like that. But I'm like going to meet other people and like do things I wouldn't normally do. Because if I didn't do that, like I would fear that like I would, like you said, I would kind of go back, and then like it wouldn't be progress if I kept on doing the things I had already done and then they haven't worked.
Yeah.
So I gotta try something new.
I'd say last semester was probably the most anxious I've ever been, which was not what I was expecting, because like I came back from probably like the best summer I've ever had and like the most joy I've ever experienced. But I came back and it just kind of seemed like so many things were just beating me up. And so I didn't let people into that. And that's where I feel like that train of loneliness and that train of anxiety started. I felt like I was doing everything right. I think a thing with anxiety is like your mind always tries to convince you that you're not doing enough. And so there'd literally be nights that I'd just cry in my room on my knees, and I'd be praying to the Lord, change my heart because I don't know what else to do. And for me, like, I think that was the like most faithful step I could have taken. I've never felt more naked in my life and like exposed and seen than this past semester, which left me like pretty vulnerable. And so the way that I dealt with that was honestly just like a surrender to God, and got to see change from that in a lot of ways. And practically, I started going to counseling. And for me, that was honestly just a counselor like giving me somebody to talk through these anxious thoughts and these lies that I've been believing, and like these scenarios of like when I am alone and I feel lonely, and like the different feelings that I feel.
Letting other people know too has been a big one, of just even being like a friend, like, hey, I'm like nervous right now. 'Cause it's always good to like to speak things out, 'cause it's like what's hidden is like what really like controls us and like hurts us. So it's just like if you like say it, it loses a lot of its like power over you, in a way. And like that's what I've experienced, a lot of like freedom from those like feelings and emotions and anxiety.
Yeah.
It's been really cool.
That's really powerful, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like this the exact same thing too. Like if you just let it sit in you, like, and you just let it keep it trapped within you, like I feel like for like most people who like keep trapped within themselves, like they don't want to burden other people. For me, like regret has always been like a major thing. Yeah, so like this is in the past, and then like there's nothing I can do to focus on it. Even if you don't like aspire to the goals that you want to become, at least like know that like you have like made like a huge change and a huge difference from where you were before to where you are now.
Yeah, you mentioned like reflection. I think that's like probably one of the biggest practices to like ruling out anxiety, to be like, okay, I got to the end of this day, and if I'm not like actually thinking about like the good things that happened today, then it's just gonna carry on over and be like, I'm gonna think of this day and kind of like void it. Like there was nothing that I produced that was good. But that's not true. And so I can relate to you on reflection on that a lot.
Yeah, And even like, yeah, I don't know, like recently for me, it's been cool of like what I've learned with like handling anxiety and like that being like a problem that is like kind of forced in my face of like, you gotta handle me now or things are gonna get like worse and worse. I don't feel like it, you know, but like I know I need to do it, and seeing like how that will like, yeah, set me up, and like what you said for like tomorrow. That has like a real impact on like our view of ourselves.
And like just taking active steps. Active steps. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Active. Being active in so many different ways
Yeah.
to fight anxiety is huge.
Yeah, it is.